You're watching KSL Sports Live.
This is KSL Sports Live, your home for football. Plenty of that, but of course, a lot of other things. We also have the latest on the Utah Jazz, all alone in first place in the Western Conference. A look back at Saturday night's win in Portland.
Yeah, tons of college football this weekend as well. Do the Utes still have a chance at a Pac-12 championship after a disappointing performance in Eugene? Yeah, we'll tell you how that chance could come to pass. And Jaron Hall's big day against Utah Tech, plus Weber State headed to the playoffs. When it looked like the Utah Jazz had come back down to earth on the heels of a 3-game losing streak, they proceed to knock off two of the best in the West in back-to-back nights. The Suns at home and then the Blazers on the road. And just like that, the 12-6 Jazz are first place in the Western Conference. And the Jazz got it done behind spectacular shooting from Malik Beasley off the bench. He made 7 threes against the Suns and then 6 in the win over the Blazers. He's combined for 56 points off the bench in those 2 wins. But it was the play from Jordan Clarkson that helped the Jazz seal the deal in Portland. He scored 15 fourth-quarter points on 5 of 6 shooting from the field. He was especially effective in the final 2 minutes, where he scored 8 straight points. The first 3 in that stretch gave the Jazz the lead for good.
Jordan wanted the ball. Jordan has made a lot of really good decisions for us closing games. I really just love the fact that he mixed it up down the stretch. He didn't just settle for jump shots over a big. He drove the ball very well, got to the basket, hit a pull-up, did a good job showing his full ability on the offensive end.
Well, good news, bad news for starting point guard Mike Conn. The good news, he's been cleared of any major structural damage with the knee injury that he suffered against the Blazers. The bad news, he's going to miss some time. Ruled out for tomorrow night's game against the Clippers. And then, according to reports, he will be evaluated on a day-to-day basis moving forward after that. Former Weber State Wildcat Damian Lillard was also injured in last night's game against the Jazz. We didn't really see when it happened, but he had a calf injury late in the game in the 3rd quarter. The injury will keep him off the court for at least 1 week, maybe 2.
Right now to college football. After falling behind 17-3, it felt like the Utes were going to complete a rally in Eugene Saturday night. They tied the game at 17, but missed one opportunity after another in the 4th quarter to complete the comeback and win that game. The loss dropped the Utes in the polls, number 14 now in the AP Top 25. It also left their Pac-12 championship hopes on life support. But I have good news. Those hopes aren't dead yet. This is what has to happen for the Utes to make the Pac-12 title game against USC. First, Oregon must lose to Oregon State in Corvallis. UCLA must beat Cal, and Washington must win the Apple Cup against Washington State for all the tiebreakers to go the Utes' way. But with no control of that situation, the Utes can only focus on a strong finish to the season, starting with Colorado in Boulder on Saturday.
It's a tough day. I mean, the ultimate goal is just to win the game. We weren't able to do that, so it sucks. It hurts a lot. The only thing we can do now is respond, though. We got Colorado next week, so just looking forward to that. We'll watch this film and then move on to that.
104.
There were many reasons the Utes fell against Oregon, but it's hard to ignore the struggles of Cam Rising. Just 21 of 38 for 170 yards. No touchdowns, and those 3 interceptions were huge. That was a career high for Cam, and he missed on an easy throw here on the crucial 4th down play that would have extended a 4th quarter drive. The Utes had 3 drives of 10 players or more where they failed to come away with any points in what turned out to be just a 3-point loss.
He wasn't at his best tonight, but neither were some other guys as well. And sure, some coaches could have been better. I mean, everybody could have been better. So, but Cam didn't seem to find much of a rhythm tonight like he usually does. He usually was able to get into a rhythm, but wasn't able to get that tonight.
All right, breaking down this loss is a tough job, but Stevenson Sylvester's got to do it. Sly, I mean, we just talked about Cam Rising. Look, the quarterback's going to get the praise or the blame. That's just how this works.
Comes with the job.
Right now, Cam's getting the blame, and he would be the first to say he wasn't great last night. But there's more to it than that, right?
Yeah, no question. I mean, he didn't play well in that game, but if you look at it, there were a lot of spots in that football game where we missed on a lot of parts. As Coach Whittingham said, he's not the only guy to blame. You know, there were some things. But for Cam Rising, of course, the interceptions were blatant. You know, the tip passes, that was just unfortunate. You know, you got to see the D linemen there. But, you know, on other things, you know, fourth down, we were 1 of 4 on fourth down. We got to convert. If we're going for it on fourth down, you want to make it. But I want to point out this fourth down late in the second quarter here. You know, we're goal to go here, right? You know, we can kick a field goal or we can go for the touchdown. We decided to go for 4, but a lot of people were like, Cam Rising should have took the check down. But you got to understand exactly, football is an anticipation sport, right? And Cam is seeing man-to-man coverage on his #1 receiver. If Devon Vele gets a great release off the line of scrimmage, it's most likely going to be a touchdown because it's man-to-man, and that's what he sees. So Devon Vele releases here, gets a great release, right? But what we don't anticipate is contact from somebody who's not supposed to be in the picture. There is contact right here, and this is while the ball is in the air. I don't know in what world, but that's pass interference.
Right.
And then the guy who's covering him also pass interference. The ball goes out of the back of the end zone, but Devon Vele's 6'5" and has amazing leaping ability, but he was unable to make a play on that. That should have been called pass interference. But you got to understand, Cam Rising, this is what I saw. Am I going to take the check down or am I going to go for the touchdown, right? And so he saw the touchdown there, which should have been, but didn't happen.
Yeah, as difficult as it was for Cam and the offense, the defense really kept them in the game throughout the whole time.
Yeah, no question. The defense played awesome in the second half. You know, in the first half, they were letting Oregon get kind of what they wanted, but they buckled down at halftime. They said they really didn't make any adjustments. It was more of an attitude adjustment that they made. It was just like, look, lock down on our technique and make things happen. But it was all sparked by Karene Reed. He did an amazing job in that second half of leading this defense and starting to make plays. And then, of course, our, I believe, All-American corner, Clark Phillips, is just electric, right? This guy makes plays at the drop of a hat exactly when you need it. And he came up big, and the defense did everything that they could to keep us in that football game. So hopefully, you know, that scenario pans out and we still get to go to Vegas.
We'll see how it plays out either way. We'll hope the Utes finish strong here to end the season.
Markkanen, double team, turns the shot away.
The Jazz are the #1 team in the West. It's a fact. But just how good are they? I've got some numbers that may shock you. Coming up right after this.
Yeah, there's just some things that were said by them that our guys just really wanted to get to this game.
Yeah, it was motivation, you know. We definitely heard it. Media is everywhere nowadays. Everyone has a phone. You're not going to not hear something like that. So, but, you know, it's a game of football. People say stuff, and you got to respond. And for us, luckily, it kind of put a fire underneath us and got us better prepared.
I like Utah Tech talking trash. They almost pulled it off, right? The final home game of the independence era for BYU football was against an FCS team. Of course, their in-state opponent, the Utah Tech Trailblazers.
Yeah, the Cougars plenty motivated with that, with what they heard from a report that surfaced early in the week that Utah Tech wide receiver Malcolm Ross Turner predicted Utah Tech would come to Provo and win the game. Sure enough, it fueled the Cougars in their win, led by quarterback Jaron Hall. Is this the last game of his career at LaBelle Edwards Stadium? Well, if it was a great one. 23 for 35 passing, 456 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 of those to Keanu Hill. Plus, he had a 59-yard touchdown pass to Chase Roberts in the game and a 32-yarder to Isaac Rex. Hall also ran for a 10-yard touchdown in the third quarter. Not a bad way to go out for him.
No line holding up, giving me time. You know, everything always starts with them, goes back to them, and then our receivers coming out with the ball. So that was really the key to all that success that we had out there was them.
Man, I feel grateful to play with that guy, number 3. He's one of the best to do, and I love catching balls from him, that's for sure.
So what now for the Cougars? What motivates them? What drives them? Well, just one regular season game left at 3-8 Stanford. Then a bowl game. It's obvious what motivates this team is not finishing the way they did last season. A disappointing bowl finish in Shreveport against UAB. Jaron Hall is driven to end this season on a winning note.
When you don't have, you know, perfect season, the season you expect, it really comes down to, well, how do you finish the season? You know, we can't control what's happened at this point. we lost control of that, and so now it's what can we control, and that's Stanford game next week, and that's the bowl game to follow. So all that just comes back to our character, willingness to strain and finish, regardless of what we thought we deserved to begin with or what we wanted to see happen in the end. Now you just got to do what you can, have the right perspective about things, because, to say a lot more about us how we finish than anything else.
They will head to Weber State.
Welcome to Ogden. Yes, there it is. Weber State back in the FCS playoffs after a one-year absence. The Wildcats finishing the regular season with a 9-2 record. The two losses coming against fellow playoff teams, though, 4th-seeded Montana State and 2nd-seeded Sacramento State. The Wildcats will kick off Saturday, 2 o'clock Mountain Time on their home field against North Dakota.
The reality is get in. And now we're all in the exact same boat, win in advance, and you're going to have to beat really good teams to advance in this thing. So it doesn't really matter that much on where you start. The key is where you finish. I like the potential of this team. The key is peaking at the right time and hitting on all cylinders when it matters.
All right, be honest, Aggie fans. When Utah State started 1-4 with a 35-7 loss to Weber State, you'd given up on bowl eligibility, right? Well, since that loss to the BYU Cougars, the Aggies are 5-1 and became bowl eligible last night with a 35-31 come-from-behind win over a good San Jose State Spartans team. Another Ike Larson punt blocked, set up a touchdown return by Jaden Smith there, gave the Aggies a 21-6 lead. The Spartans rallied to take the lead with 6:42 left, but Calvin Tyler Jr.'s third touchdown turned out to be the game winner with 2:49 left. The Aggies finished the regular season Friday in Boise. All right, we need to make something clear, okay? The narrative that the Utah Jazz are tanking this year is officially dead, okay? We can all move on from that. You can forget about the lottery. The Jazz have the NBA Coach of the Year. Larry Markkinen is going to be an all-star, and the Jazz are going to be a playoff team. There's just too much evidence to support this after 18 games. Credit to John Schumann of NBA.com for this info. There are currently 16 teams in the NBA with winning records. In games played between those 16 teams, guess who's number one? Yes, the Utah Jazz. They're 8-3 against winning teams. And they've played more games against winning teams so far than anyone else, 11. A 72% win percentage against winners. Wow. The Jazz are for real. I mentioned Larry Markkinen being an all-star this year. It's not crazy. Did you see what he did against the Phoenix Suns on Friday? He scored a career-high 38 points that included one of the toughest shots you'll see a player make this season with 38 seconds left to clinch the Jazz victory over the Suns. The finisher has 5 30-point games this season.
And how about this? Markkinen now joins some elite Jazz company. The last time a player scored 38 or more points and shot 80% or better from the field, well, that was Karl Malone back on January 8th, 1998 in a game against the Bucks. Malone hit 13 of 16 shots for 39 points in a 116-109 win. He did it 5 times in his career. Now, before the mailman, Adrian Dantley scored 38 or more points while making 80% of his shots 4 times with the Jazz. The best came on January 14th, 1984, when he made 16 of 20 shots for 44 points in a 121-96 win over the Washington Bullets. Today in the NBA, the red-hot Sacramento Kings added another win to their streak. De'Aaron Fox was amazing, recording his 5th 30-point game of the season, a game-high 33 on 11 of 18 shooting. And the Kings win 137-129 over the Pistons, the Kings' 6th straight win. They haven't had a win streak like that since Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, Bobby Jackson, and Peja Stojakovic did it back in 2005.
A great top 10 matchup in men's college hoops. 5th-ranked Baylor and 8th-ranked UCLA in Vegas. Former BYU player Caleb Lohner throwing it down for the Bears. This had a March Madness feel to it. Jalen Clark led the Bruins with 23 points and 10 rebounds, but Baylor shot lights out. LJ Cryer with a career-high 28 points. He was 4 of 8 from 3. Here's one of them. And Adam Flagler, who you just saw, added 22, leading Baylor to an impressive victory.
Every week on KSL Sports Live, we recognize a former Utah high school athlete that's excelling at the next level in their respective sport. It's a segment called Hometown Heroes, brought to you by Brent Brown Toyota. This week, our hero is Oregon linebacker Noah Sewell. On Saturday night against Utah, Sewell was wrecking the Utes offense, recording 8 tackles in the game, 2 of them for loss. He also came up with a big-time interception in the 3rd quarter, the 2nd of his collegiate career. he's being projected as a first or second round pick in next spring's NFL draft. But before he becomes the next local in the NFL, and before his days at Oregon, he was dominant on both sides of the ball for the Orem Tigers. As a running back, he plowed over defenders to the tune of 2,605 yards rushing and 48 touchdowns. And on defense, 7 sacks and 4 interceptions. He had 16 tackles in the state championship game as a senior.
Staying with soccer, another deep NCAA tournament run for BYU women's soccer, but the latest run came to an end Saturday. They fell 3-2 to the host team, Powerhouse North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Olivia Wade and Allie Fryer scored for the Cougars, but after North Carolina took a 3-1 lead in the 65th minute, BYU's comeback bid would fall short. This is back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances for the Cougars, who, of course, you'll remember, reached the College Cup final in 2021.
Solid Community College played in the women's NJCAA Soccer Championship Saturday in Georgia, facing Iowa Western Community College. In the first half, the Bruins called for a handball in the box. The Reavers would capitalize with the penalty kick, which would be the only goal in the game. But hey, major congratulations to the Bruins on a great season. They finished 14-3-2 and a Region 18 championship.
Now, that's where we're going next, high school football. It all came down to this. The high school football season came to a close with championship games in the state's 2 highest classifications on Friday.
And what a thriller it was in Class 5A, where the Lehigh Pioneers were hoping to cap off their undefeated record with the title.
Here's how it went down. Lehigh seeking back-to-back titles and hoping to complete that 14-0 perfect season. They led in the 4th quarter when Timphue's Jared Esplin makes an incredible 23-yard touchdown catch. The toe tap tied the game at 16. It took 3 overtimes to decide a winner, and this is how it was decided. Lehigh quarterback Jackson Brousseau connects with Colton Tanner for the championship-winning touchdown. The Pioneers go crazy. They win their 3rd 5A state title in 6 years.
Slow motion. That was slow motion. I sat there, it was coming in. I'm like, I can't wait to party with my buddies. That's immediately was in my head. Ball's in the air. I knew I was catching it. Wasn't leaving my hands. I didn't drop one all day. I knew I was going to catch it slow-mo, hit my hands, and I felt like a champion.
In the 6A championship game, it looked like it was going to be a shootout between 2 of the top offenses in the state. McKay Hillstead dropped a dime to Kyle Valdez for the 7-0 lead on the game's opening drive, but right away, Corner Canyon scores on their opening drive, a touchdown pass from Isaac Wilson to take care. But it was a defensive battle the rest of the way, and the Skyridge defense came up big time and time again, stopping Corner Canyon 5 times on 4th down. Hillstead had another touchdown pass to Jay Stoneman, and Skyridge took home their first ever state title.
It's just an unbelievable ride. You know, you think about the whole process and the grind and how hard it is, and the successes that push you forward and the setbacks that cause you to fight a little bit more. And so I just think about all these people that just keep fighting.
Head coach John Lehman goes out a winner. Congratulations to Skyridge and Lehigh on winning state championships.
Yeah, and of course, the only thing better than watching those championship moments is celebrating them again with this edition of the Highlight Reel.
Sorry, but emotional. I just love high school football.
2 classifications plus 2 championships. Do the math, it equals 5 top plays.
Anyway, it's time for the final game night 5 of the season.
Wilson in the pocket, gonna keep. Can he get to the marker?
Denied.
He's short. The Skyridge defense holds again.
There it is, number 5, Smith Snowden and the Skyridge defense getting the big 4th down goal line stop.
Intercepted.
Number 4, Lehigh giving their offense a chance to win with the triple overtime interception by Nathan Enderick.
Hillstead, plenty of time in the pocket, going over the top. Caught! Touchdown, Skyridge!
My goodness, number 3, the first touchdown of the game between Skyridge and Corner Canyon, reminded us of just how special McKay Hillstead is. That's a Division I touchdown pass right there.
Flat-footed. The rush comes. Kasuga gets rid of it into the end zone.
No good. Out of bounds, right?
Are they going to give it to him? They're going to talk about it.
His feet was out.
It's a touchdown.
What?
Yeah, Sly, it was a touchdown. A play that kept Timfew's title hopes alive. A toe-tapping 4th quarter score by Jared Esplin. College football recruiters take note.
Rousseau, pressure's on. Going to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Lehigh! The Pioneers have done it again! They repeat as 5A state champions!
Could there be any other top play from this weekend? A triple overtime championship-winning touchdown pass from Jackson Brousseau to Colton Tanner. Congratulations, Lehigh Pioneers.
Yeah, congrats to both teams, and they need to fire that play-by-play guy. He stinks.
No, bring him back next season. Come on.
Download that app. It's awesome.